You know the saying, when one door closes, another opens. What folks don't mention is that door that opens is usually in the place that needs the most work. After years grinding at Cal State San Bernardino, Jordan Santana got her bachelor's and is now a grad student and TA at Cal State San Bernardino, where her success door blew wide open. Her dream? Advocate for black students in the realest way possible. She took a midnight class everyone thought was a joke and turned it into a complete campus-wide movement that they now call the Afro Salon.
Good afternoon, class. You know what the sad truth is about this university? Is that most of these people are more worried about not looking racist instead of just not being racist. And that's because they don't want to call themselves out. So in the end, it ends up being us who carry that weight, dealing with it day after day. Who else feels like that in this room? Anybody else deal with that weight of just understanding that this university is not really looking out for you?
This is 100% true. The problem is society just neglects racism as a whole, not understanding that every single tragedy can tear down families and communities for generations.
Professor?
You don't have to raise your hand. We're family.
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to add my uncle was murdered in 1965 inside a liquor store where he worked during the Watts Uprising. Him and two other boys were killed by who we thought was a white LAPD officer, but it turned out he was black. A black officer who wanted to be white so bad. He left them inside the store freezer to die. It wasn't an accident. He assumed they were looting and treated them like criminals. Before he treated them like kids, said he did society a favor because they would have became criminals anyways. His own people, such a shame.
See what I mean? We can't even trust the ones who are supposed to protect us, and we don't hold them accountable. 9 times out of 10, they aren't investigated properly and the truth gets buried to protect the department.
You're spot on. The store owner, Frank Zakaya, got blamed for deflecting attention from the police. And not to get too sentimental, but his death still impacts us today. I can't even walk into the store alone. Most time I sit in the car while my mom goes in, because as much as I want to say my tragedy is one of the only ones, I got friends who can't walk to or from my house and have to wait for their parents to drive because of the racial profile we consistently see on our screens.
Wow, thank you, Giovanni, for sharing that. These are the real world experiences that just bring us all together. These experiences were described.
Hi, can I speak to you for a minute?
Yeah.
Sorry for interrupting.
Should I dismiss them?
Oh no, they're fine. They're gonna want to hear this. Well, I just wanted to let you know that you were selected to represent Cal State at the UniTalk, National UniTalk. Congratulations!
Wait, are you serious? I got it? Alright, y'all, before we start today, I need to talk about this speech. I know the title sounds fancy, National Collegiate UniTalk, but let me break it down a little bit on what it's really about. It's a room full of university presidents, administrators, donors, the people who make decisions about what happens on campuses like ours.
So basically, the inventors of higher education?
Exactly, but without the superpowers or the accountability. This speech is not just a presentation, it's a platform, a megaphone, a chance to tell the truth out loud in a room where truth usually makes people uncomfortable.
Like you could change things for real?
Potentially, yeah, but it also means whatever I say becomes a narrative of what it's like to be a black student at this university. And that's where things get heavy. Your stories, your pain, your joy, your experiences, I'm carrying them with me when I step on that stage. It's not just my voice, it's ours. That's why I have to get this speech right, People like us don't get chances like this often, and when we do, they come with strings.
So what are you gonna say?
The truth. I'm going to tell them the truth. And every time a black student is told they're intimidating, what they really mean is you're confident in a way that makes me confront my biases. Every microaggression is a reminder that we were invited to the table, but only on their terms.
Professor Santana, nice delivery. May I speak with you?
Yeah, of course.
I listened to your speech, the unedited version. I think it's bold, powerful, and passionate, but completely inappropriate for this event.
Inappropriate how? Everything I said is true.
True or not, it paints the university in a negative light, and the UniTalk is not the place for your grievances.
They're not grievances, they're lived experiences, and ignoring them doesn't make them disappear.
Be that as it may, your speech needs to be revised heavily. We want you to highlight the positive work happening on campus, the Afro Salon, for example, diversity initiatives, new mentorship programs, etc.
So you want me to sugarcoat reality?
I want you to be constructive, inspirational, and hopeful. If you give that speech, the one you just read, you will not be allowed on that stage.
So that's it. Talk about the good stuff or lose the opportunity to talk at all.
Those are your options. Think about what's at stake. Your career, your program, your students. We selected you because you uplift. Let's not turn this into an attack.
Okay, I hear you.
Good. I look forward to your revision.
Hey, what happened?
We'll talk. These microaggressions aren't accidents, they're patterns. But apparently that's too negative. They want the image of justice, not the truth of it. And this speech could create crazy opportunities for me. Funding, visibility, longevity for Afro Salon, maybe a permanent position, job security. If I change it, at least I'll still get to speak. At least I'll be standing on that stage. Maybe once I'm on the inside and I could push for change. But if I change it, I'm saying their comfort matters more than our truth. What would I be telling my students? That telling half the truth is acceptable? Is keeping the peace more important than ending the cycle? We must speak our experiences out loud, or they disappear. So what do I do? Speak for us or survive for myself? Okay, pause. Let me explain what this moment feels like. See, being a Black grad student in academia and telling the truth is kind of like opening Pandora's box. If Pandora was also your boss and could revoke your tuition waiver. Frederick Douglass talked about this exact feeling. The moment knowledge stops being empowering and starts being heavy. In chapter 7 of Narrative of the Life of Frederick Douglass, an American slave, he learns how to read, and suddenly he sees the whole system of slavery for what it is. Literacy opened his eyes to the horrible pit, but didn't give him a ladder to escape it. That's the burden of knowledge. You see everything, the good, the bad, the racist microaggressions in faculty meetings.
Wow, Jordan, you're surprisingly articulate.
And that's the trap. If I tell the truth, I risk everything. If I don't tell the truth, I risk myself. Look, I just need to think this through. This isn't an easy choice. So, based on my history of my protesting and everything that went down at graduation last year, they want me representing the school to the best of its abilities.
Man, this is some bullshit.
Language,
I'm
Giovanni.
just saying, they always try to censor your freaking bottom.
You could have just said ass. That's, at that point, it's a simpler world. But is it censorship though? Censorship would be banning me from speaking at all. And they're not doing that. I'm not defending them, but this is an amazing platform for me to talk about all the work we've been doing with AfroCell.
Yeah, but on their terms. You're trying to speak to our experiences at a HSI, and whether you call it censorship or not, they're trying to get you to give some watered down version of that experience. They want the story told from their perspective, not ours. That's shady as hell.
If I don't alter the speech, I don't get to give the speech.
So what? Who cares? Screw that fool's ass.
Giovanni, go get some water and maybe a bar of soap for that mouth. Listen, this could be a launching pad for me. It's a huge opportunity.
Wow, I can't believe you, of all people, are saying that. I don't even want to say how you're acting right now.
No, go ahead and say it. How am I acting?
Okay, you're acting like someone you call a sellout. We need you to stand up for us and not let them silence our experience.
Dude, if I'm being honest, Giovanni does have a good point. If I saw from his point of view, I would also call myself a sellout.
These kids, they don't know what you've been through with the university, but I do. That's why I'm saying this isn't about you selling out. It's actually you selling up.
What do you mean by that?
Because when you give them the speech that they want you to give, it's still going to be your words. So when that shit hits, you get all the power. And you can say whatever you want, get your true message out there. And you go and Obama that joint. So at the end of the day, you got to play their game to get what you want. Look, I see how playing the game could help.
I do, but I just don't know if I'm making the right decision for my students, you know? They depend on me. They count on me to be their voice.
All right, bro. Yeah, I'm counting on you to see the bigger picture.
Oh, what are you doing here? You here to drag me some more?
Look, we were being kind of inconsiderate and insensitive. Considering what an impossible situation you're in, and we shouldn't take out frustrations with the administration on you. So I'm sorry.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate you saying that.
And you should also know that what you've done this semester with the Afro Salon has been transformative for us, okay? So you've earned this moment. No matter what version of the speech you decide to give, me and the entire class support you.
Ooh, I have an idea.
Jordan Santana created what is called the Afro Salon. It's an environment that's given me and other students here the opportunity to speak freely and openly about what it's like to be a Black student at a Hispanic serving institution. Before this, a space like this didn't exist here. There was no course offered where we could examine our experiences as we're living through them. So when Miss Santana was awarded the opportunity to share the intricacies of the work we've been doing, what was at first exciting quickly became a burden, because the administration had a caveat. The school must be portrayed in a positive light. Unfortunately, that wouldn't be giving you an honest, accurate portrayal of our entire experience, the Black experience. Because she couldn't bring herself to read a sugar-coated version of her speech, she asked me to read her original one. This is a guidebook on how to survive being Black at a HSI.
Sorry, ma'am, but I just couldn't let my students' experience not be heard.
Well, the university is very disappointed. Smart to have a kid read it though.
Can't fire a student for speaking the truth.
You're right about that. I'm not gonna fire you. I mean, the response for this speech was so positive that it really got the admins thinking about making some changes. Maybe you could help us with that.
Well, really, I don't know. Maybe I don't want to be a part of an institution that doesn't accept criticism.